What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the live stage at New York Comic Con. How's everybody doing? I'm Karama, AKA the Blur Girl, and how many anime fans do we have in the house? There we go. So I know you know the voice of my next guest, Josh Grelle, and this might take our whole time if I read everything that you've done. Okay.
Rapid fire.
Right, exactly. He has been the English voiceover for Kenichi Shirahama in Kenichi the Mightiest Disciple, Armin Artlelt in Attack on Titan, Mao Sadao, otherwise known as the Demon King in The Devil is a Part-Timer, Yuri Katsuki in Yuri on Ice, Naki in Tokyo Ghoul, Cold Dandy in Darling the Franxx, and the goth bird Fumikage Tokoyami from My Hero Academia.
Yeah, that's right.
And this is a smaller one, but one of my
friends.
favorites is Femt from Blood Blockade Battlefront. Welcome, Josh Grelle, everybody.
Thank you very much. So happy to be here.
Now, you know what I'm going to ask you. What's been your favorite voice character to play?
Favorite?
Yes.
It's like asking me to pick a favorite child.
I know.
I cannot do that.
It's mean and it's cruel.
It's Timmy. He brings me cookies. I try to keep a list of 5 that goes. I really just can't pick one, and I keep them because each one represents either a character that was really important to me at the time I was recording or a milestone in my career. So at the moment it's Kenichi.
Kenichi, okay.
Sadao Mao. Devil's a Part-Timer, Armin, Yuri, and most recently the Grand Priest or the Grand Minister from Dragon Ball Super.
Yes, and I was waiting for him to announce that. We don't have any Dragon Ball fans, do we?
Any Dragon Ball friends out there?
One or two?
Yeah.
Just a few? All right, there you go. So you stay busy.
I do, very much. Very, very fortunate in that regard.
Now, do you get to sit in the studio with other actors? Or are you usually just solo? We're
almost always solo.
Oh, wow.
It's, especially in the dubbing industry, whenever we're working on anime, it's not unlike herding cats to try and get several actors into one room at once and then to have them be able to work without cracking up, together. That alone, it just logistically, it's a nightmare, and it's also it's not very cost efficient. So it's much easier to just do us one at a time. Unless we're recording Walla, which is, if there's ever a scene in the background where, let's say, for an instance of Dragon Ball, if there's a scene where we're at a martial arts tournament and we have all the people in the background cheering and saying, just screaming for their favorite fighter and everything, that's what we call Walla, or with all actors. And it's usually they'll schedule a session and bring in about 4 people at 2 groups of 4 people, 4 guys, then 4 girls. And they'll record each scene with group about 2 or 3 times and just lay it on top of each other so it sounds like a lot of people. And
which character do you think that you've played has the coolest power?
The coolest power? Well, I mean, it's hard to beat the Grand Minister. He is literally God. So, I mean, and he's stronger than Goku, which I think is probably even more impressive than being a god.
There you go.
So, yeah, it's just the fact that that's a good power to have.
Now, I named all your big ones, but I'm sure there's some smaller projects you've worked on or smaller voiceover characters that you've done. Do you ever find yourself, wishing and hoping that smaller characters that you've done really get to see, shine a bigger light?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And actually, Tokoyami is one of them. Like, when we first see him, I think it's kind of like, am I getting to voice Edgar Allan Poe hero?
I think Tokoyami's a big one.
Yeah, he's actually fairly big. I mean, he is like...
He's half demon, half bird. Come on, man.
He is, I know. But the cool thing about him is that we don't really get to see him except for every couple of episodes. And then
that's true.
We find out that he's done something really cool in that time, or he's progressed as a hero, or he's ranked really hard, really high on a test. And every time we see him, he's gotten stronger or gotten better. And but I do know that apparently he gets his own arc coming up very soon in the animation, since they're following the manga.
Yeah, they kind of teased a little of that in the teaser for season 4 of My Hero Academia. Has anybody out there seen that? We don't have any My Hero Academia if I was gonna say.
Plus Ultra.
Yes. I mean, and honestly, he may be the most powerful of all of them, because when they had that whole thing where they're in the woods.
Indeed.
Because it's dark.
Yes.
And he was,
I love the duality of the character too.
Yeah.
That he's kind of represents, as far as heroes go, he represents also a constant struggle with your own inner darkness.
Literally.
And that inner darkness in this case is sentient, and he actually has a relationship with this, and whether or not it's a symbiotic relationship or an actual friendship or something, like we haven't really seen yet. So I'm really interested in their relationship and how it's going to progress and make him stronger.
Absolutely. Now let's go back to Yuri a little bit.
Okay.
Now, when you were voicing that, did you have any idea that Yuri on Ice was going to be not just such a huge character, but such a huge character in the LGBTQ community?
Not at all. I mean, I don't think any of us really had any idea, because Yuri on Ice was one of the rare instances of an anime being made with no original source material.
Yeah,
like there was no manga
Yeah.
beforehand. There wasn't like a light novel series or anything like that, or a series of like video games or anything. It was just a 100% original animation piece, original story. And the fact that they touched so many different people from so many different walks of life, we had no idea that this is what we had. By the time the second or third episode aired, then we started to realize, oh, this is something special, and we need to be very careful with it. And it's even to this day, like it was 2 years ago now since we recorded and it first came out, and it's changed my life. It's changed the lives of pretty much everyone who's come up to talk to me in the last 2 years, or every convention that I've done since then. Every weekend I'm told about how that show inspired someone to either come out and to live as or to live as the gender that they felt was appropriate for them, or to pick themselves up after a tragedy in their family, or to pursue their art again. It's affected the lives of people in so many different ways, from so many different walks of life, and all just because of the simple fact that they treated Victor and Yuri's relationship with respect. That they just treated it like any other relationship.
Thank you. It was just
that's
normal.
All. Yeah, it was just a normal thing, and it was. How profound was that? That simple thing can touch so many people.
Yeah, I have this conversation all the time when people ask me about like how marginalized voices should be played, and I'm like, normal? Like,
yeah,
like
exactly.
Everything else?
Yeah. Why does it have to be? Why does it have to be out there or something like really absurd or unhealthy in order for it to be a challenge or entertaining?
Exactly.
Instead, no, it's two guys and skating. And lots and lots of ice skating.
Which was animated beautifully.
Absolutely. The power of rotoscoping right there.
It's amazing. Now, a little birdie told me about a streaming site.
A what?
A streaming site that you have.
A streaming site?
Yes.
Yes, Funimation Now. As well as, I mean, you can see Yuri on Ice and all these other shows on so many different platforms
and you
these
don't have
days.
one personally?
Do I have one personally?
Yes.
I do. I've streamed on Twitch. I've streamed from my website, also on Unlocked. And I do all sorts of stuff everywhere. But yeah, you can generally find me on Unlocked or Twitch, /Josh Grelle, same with Twitter.
And are you talking about the characters that you're working on, or just all kinds of stuff?
Absolutely. That's where I keep I will say where I'm going, whatever new shows I'm working on, or news about those shows that I already am working on, and all sorts of future endeavors.
And puppies.
And puppies. Plenty,
He's got a new puppy. He's very happy about the puppy.
I am rather obnoxious, actually, with the amount of pictures
He's
that
an
I flood
obnoxious
Twitter
puppy daddy.
I am. He turns 1 year old on Monday. We are getting him a birthday cake. So, and he will eat it.
He's an awesome, awesome animal daddy.
Yeah, I try. Stay-at-home dog dad.
Thank you so much, and we really, really look forward to season 4.
Indeed.
Of My Hero Academia, and I'm just so in awe of all the work that you've done. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, and also look forward to the Yuri on Ice movie coming out next year.
Yes. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Have a great weekend.
I'm Jackie Jennings with SYFY WIRE. If you can't get enough of New York Comic Con, go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube channel for news, interviews, cosplay, and so much more. What are you waiting for?